Hey everybody. You know, I can really suck at this. And I know that, and I'm actually okay with it. I know that I'm not very good at speaking. Sometimes I jump from one idea to the other without finishing my sentences. It can be very difficult to follow along for some people, and I'm very well aware of that. I listen to myself all the time. I'm probably my hardest critic. And I am very well aware that I can be very hard to listen to and hard to follow along with. I talk pretty slow. I can take very long pauses in between ideas because I try to think out too far ahead. And because I think ahead and not just focus on what I'm saying at the moment, I can go ahead and jump from one idea to the next without fully finishing my sentences. Um, I'm also aware that when I'm sitting there trying to think of what I'm supposed to say, that I can actually kind of have this, weird, constipated look on my face, for lack of a better term, I guess. But you know what? I'm okay with it for right now. It's just simply going to have to be all right. Um, I'm just simply bound and determined to have meaningful conversations. Um, and anytime that you start doing something new, you can plan on just simply not being good at what you're doing. Whether you're, beginning a trade, whether you're beginning a new hobby, or anything like that, you can simply bet on the idea that it's going to take you a while to get really good at it. This is no different. And, if you're sitting there just having conversations with people and you never actually really listen to yourself talk, you actually don't know how bad you are at speaking sometimes. This is definitely true for me. I found out that I'm actually very horrible at speaking. And speaking can be hard. You may know words, but it is very hard to speak in any kind of a way that people would want to listen to you. It's actually very difficult to do. If you don't believe me, go record yourself and then see how you sound and try putting that on YouTube. So why would I put some of this stuff on YouTube if I know that I sound bad? Well, because I'm recording myself anyways, and I am bound and determined to put the stuff out there just to create content. And the only way that you get better is by simply doing. And so that's what I'm doing. This may, sometimes have embarrassing moments and everything when you do that. And it may not always sound the best, and you really, sometimes sit there and cringe and like, oh my goodness, like people actually know me, right? And if people that know me watch these videos, then what are they thinking about it, right? All of these types of things go through your head, and it's not easy. It is not at all easy to do, and it can be very messy. And sometimes in your head, you wonder why you even bother. Honestly, the reason why I do bother is simply because what I had said earlier is that I am bound and determined to have good conversations with people. So, in my personal life experiences and in my past and everything, um, I just kind of, had I mean, I'm not saying I didn't have good conversations with people, but normally they were with people who thought the same way that I did, who were taught the same things that I did. And so we would just kind of sit there and talk about things about life too. There weren't really too many new thoughts outside of your given belief system. And over the years, I have simply grown to have different beliefs. I have questioned a lot of different things. And I have realized that there's a lot of really good and deep conversations out there that I have not had. And I plan on documenting those conversations. And I want to have a lot of them. I want to have them with a lot of different people. Sometimes it may be myself sitting here talking and coming up with ideas, just simply because either it's something that I've been thinking about that I want to get out, because I also process things by talking and also by writing. Both of them take a lot of practice, and both of them are actually not easy to do when you're trying to do it in any type of a constructive way. I'm essentially just documenting that journey, and I'm hoping to share that with so many different people as well. I have grown to find out that not everything that I was taught growing up by various different people um, is not necessarily true. I mean, I was taught a lot of different things by people, not that they were lying, but that they were taught these things as well. And some of it just simply has not been true. And I have made a kind of a quest for myself to go and discover what is true. It comes to different things in science, religion, politics, whether it's, I mean, just regular stuff. I mean, I want to talk about it all, whether it's how I view even like homeless people. So I want to talk to homeless people, right? And get their view on the world. All kinds of different stuff like that. I want to start documenting those things, and I am essentially learning and I'm educating myself, and I'm not even necessarily seeking to nail down firm beliefs and find people that I agree with. I just simply want to understand the world around me. I'm not looking to set a hard doctrinal beliefs of any kind, if that makes any kind of sense. I may have some about certain things, but I am not necessarily planning on going out there and, trying to shed these and then thinking that I immediately have to replace it with something else, if that makes sense. So my foundational beliefs have come a very long way. Um, and through this process, it has been difficult. It has been very difficult. It has been extremely messy. Some of it has been very cringeworthy uh, and embarrassing, because when you have core beliefs that have been passed down to you from generations past. I mean, parents and from, direct influence in church by all of these different things. Well, they were also taught by their parents and by their parents. So these are kind of generational things that would be passed down and things that you're just kind of inherited. And it's very difficult when you start questioning those things and going out there and trying to say, okay, well, if I don't necessarily adhere to these things, or if this over here has been wrong, then what else is wrong as well? Or if this is not necessary, if I don't need to be dogmatic, if just don't need to be dogmatic about this, then what else do I not need to be dogmatic about? Some of these things we have essentially based our characters off of these certain things, okay? Whether it's religion, politics, those are normally the big two, right? Those are normally the two really big ones that we almost find our personalities in. And when you go through a journey of discovering new things about that and questioning and possibly start believing different things, you almost lose a little bit of your identity. And so it's of course, it's going to be very messy when you're kind of floundering, almost not even knowing who you truly are. Because if you have based your life off of those things and you realize that that's maybe not the correct way to find your value, that may not be the correct way to find your circle of friends. That may not be how you should immerse your being. That may not be what you need to immerse yourself and your being in. Are there other things out there? And that is very tough. That is very messy. And it does get ugly. I am simply bound and determined that, for one, I'm going to document my journey. And then if there's other people that are also going through it, through any type of questioning, any type of change, through any type of evolution themselves, then hopefully, if somebody finds it, it can help them. It can be of use to them. Um, Maybe you're not. Maybe you just find this type of stuff interesting. Who knows? I don't really care. Um, this helps me out just as much as it does anybody else. So I'm literally, just on this quest, kind of searching for who I actually am. The crazy part is that when you're talking to other people, they can actually impart on you little tidbits of things that can evolve you as a person. It can impact your life and it can actually change how you see the world. I think that is how we are so interconnected with each other, is that when we come in contact with each other and we have conversations with people and we allow ourselves to be open minded and talk to people who either we have simply not heard their perspective before, or simply that we would have flat out disagreed with at one point in time, but we allow ourselves to try to understand that, then it can literally change who you are at the core level. And that is okay. I'm actually okay with that. I don't feel like I have any person that I need to hold on to. I don't feel like I need to hold on to who I once was. I don't feel like I need to hold on to what I used to believe in anymore. And it's actually very freeing to do that, because at one point in time that it was the complete opposite. You felt like you had to hold on to who you were, that there were some very fundamental things that you believe, especially when it comes to things like politics and religion. Those things, I mean, are very defining when you come from certain circles. And if you simply realize that those do not have to make up who you are, and that you can actually question these things and be open minded and not be dogmatic about it, it's it's very eye opening. It's a complete shift in how you view the world. The most important thing in this world that anyone can do is to seek to understand, not to seek to know, not to seek agreement, not to seek out people who you see eye to eye with, but actually seek out the people that you might not see eye to eye with, and just simply try to understand them and where they're coming from, and why they believe what they do. You can easily make serious enemies and say hateful things and do hateful things to people that you do not agree with. When you're sitting there trying to work out an agreement, come to an agreement on something, the people that ultimately end up agreeing with you, you can be okay with. But if people don't agree with you, it normally makes you upset, and you normally tend to put people in a different category. However, you can completely disagree with somebody and still understand them, and it is extremely hard to do anything negative or bad or evil to somebody that you understand. It gives them a level of humanity that you just simply didn't see before. So I'm on a quest not to try to find people that I agree with. I am trying to understand, not just people, even though that's obviously the biggest part. I also am trying to understand the world around me. I'm trying to understand the earth, the atmosphere, science, things that I've never understood before, because once again, it's easy to demonize something like medicine if you don't understand it. So knowledge is actually the biggest thing that opens your eyes and to new possibilities. And obviously, with knowledge, you have to understand. So I want to make that growth and that journey available to anybody. It may look like it sucks from time to time. I may make an ass out of myself. I may embarrass myself, and it may be very cringy from time to time. But that's just simply what it's going to have to be for now. I am trying to put in a personal effort to speak better, to make myself so you can actually sit there and watch me talk. I have a very hard time condensing anything into less than 45 minutes, because I can ramble on and on about different things, repeating myself, talking slow, saying, having a bunch of junk words in there. It is so difficult to do. It is so hard to change a pattern that you have developed over the past, you know, many years, ever since you've been a child. Um, so I want to just simply hear other people's stories. I will obviously maybe share some of mine along the way. And I am bound and determined to have some very meaningful conversations with people. I am not interested in talking about the weather and about work and all of those different types of things. I have had enough of those conversations to last me a lifetime. I am trying to do something meaningful in my life, and I'm trying to have meaningful conversations. I want to get down to core beliefs and why people think the way that they do. Maybe if you follow along with me, you will even help me watch me improve my speaking abilities, my overall wordsmithing abilities, I guess you could say. You may not even agree with me. That's fine. I don't care if you don't agree with me. And I don't really care who you are. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. Maybe you too have been curious and trying to figure out, like, and why is he doing this? Why is he saying all of this dumb stuff? Why has his belief switched so much? Why is he all of a sudden talking different about different things that I know he wouldn't have believed at one time? If you have even been trying to understand me, well, this may be a very good way to do it. I don't necessarily think I'm that interesting of a person, but I have friends and family who I have known for a very long time, and I am sure some are very confused as to why I all of a sudden started believing things differently. And some of it happened very quickly, and some have progressed over a period of about 4 or 5 years now. And if that's something you're interested in and wondering why, then I mean, follow along. And even if you don't agree with me, that's fine. We don't have to agree. And I'm not going to hate you because we don't agree. If you have a problem with me because we don't agree, that's on you. Liking and subscribing to a private creator's page and any content they put out, it means so much. It really, really does. When I watch somebody on YouTube, even if I don't subscribe to their channel, I find a random video that helps me out. It can be a video about editing, or it can be a video that I thought was pretty cool watching a dude weld together a project. I might not even subscribe to their channel, but I'll go ahead and like that video right away because it helps that channel out way more than you could ever know. And it helps gain views, it helps them get their ideas out there, and it honestly is something that means a lot to the people that are doing that. So if you have the time, go ahead, like, subscribe. If you do find this interesting, it would help out if you would do one of the two or both. So anyways, I think that's it. I'm just going to kind of throw this out there as in, giving people a little bit of insight into who I am. And if you've been watching and you've said, man, he makes really shitty videos, well, I know. I'm aware of it. I'm doing it anyways, and I don't care. It's okay. Have a good one.